Ding dong, the witch is dead. They finally did it. They banned Fury. In today's banned and restricted announcement on December the 4th, 2023, we had changes to multiple non-rotating formats. In Pioneer, Khan the Great Creator is banned, Geological Appraiser is banned, and Smuggler's Copter is unbanned. I talked about the Appraiser and the Discovery combo in a video that came out earlier today. Khan's a known entity, they're just trying to adjust and fix up the Pioneer metagame, and Copter we'll talk more about in a moment. But this video primarily focuses on the fact that Fury is banned in Modern, and Up the Beanstalk is also banned in Modern. All that and more in today's video. If you're looking to pick up single product or sealed product, use the link in the description below or the code KENOBI at checkout to buy your cards from CoolStuffInc.com. And if you want to support the show and the stuff I make, my Patreon is linked down below as well. $2 a month, you can get involved in my Discord server where we have prize-based leagues. The current Historic Brawl League that's about to launch has $100 of Cool Stuff Inc. credit for the winner. And you just get to get involved with my Discord server and help me to continue making content, documenting Magic the Gatherings, I guess, as a whole, really. I don't really specialize in any one area, do I? I'm not just a Commander content creator like the majority are now. Let's cut it off at the pass. The reason that Fury is banned is because of me. I've blanked all the details out, but somebody on Twitter, a couple of people actually, were saying that Wizards just listen to the loudest content creators. In that case, that's me. I've been told I'm quite a loud person, so it's not unusual to be told that I'm one of the louder content creators. I do shout a lot. I also talk about cum. I've done multiple videos on my issues with Fury, and to a lesser extent Grief and the rest of the Evoke Elementals. The crux of my argument has always been that Fury basically almost single-handedly, we'll come to that caveat in a second, but almost single-handedly eradicates the ability to play curve-out creature decks in the format. There was a time in Modern where, other than make a 2020 combo deck or Yorgmoth creature combo deck, there were other creature decks that saw regular play. Goblins became a thing after Modern Horizons 1. Merfolk was a thing for a long time. Humans just got progressively better and better and better. I remember making videos 3 or 4 years ago talking about how the human creature type might be an ongoing issue because the human deck will always get new toys till the end of fucking time. And if the human deck is dead because trying to play creature aggro, you might as well shit in your hands and clap. So Fury is gone. They have killed it off, and their rationale is just that, is that its impact on the overall metagame is that it keeps people out from playing go wide or multiple creature strategies. The idea is that it will create some more competitive diversity in a sense of what people can try and play. I am thrilled. I am fucking thrilled for Fury to be gone. If I'm honest, I think Grief should have gone too, and perhaps even Solitude as well. I do think the Evoking Elementals were a mistake on the whole, and all three of those are the ones that see the largest amount of play. For the record, I think Endurance is also a ludicrous Magic card, but I don't think it really hoses enough to warrant a complaint. I guess if you're a graveyard deck aficionado, you might be disagreeing with me right now. The main deck graveyard hate of Endurance and Legacy always makes me laugh whenever I try to play one of the graveyard decks. Ideally, I would have liked to see Fury and Grief go. Both of them get shit canned. Grief will continue to exist. There will be a deck that tries to scam you with Grief, and Grief will continue to see play in decks like Living End and other decks that have space for an effect like that, especially if they can utilize the body in the yard like Living End does. Being double thought seized is brutal and an unfun play pattern, and I'm surprised they're going to let that go. But Fury was also the other side of that coin, right? Grief attacks your hand and Fury just rafts your board. Even if you deploy all your threats early, they're all just getting wiped away by Fury. They mentioned in the article how playing the Undying cards actually becomes a much bigger opportunity cost if you haven't got access to both Fury and Grief, because comboing it is now with 4 cards instead of 8 cards in your deck. Problem is they can just move to Solitude, and we probably will see White-Black Scam as at least an attempt, if not the place that people move to. In short, what I'm getting at and meandering towards is that I would not be surprised if Grief gets hit later down the line, because Grief is bad. I just always found Fury to be worse. Much worse. Now, for those of you that missed the videos, the reason for this is that Grief takes, it's a 2-for-1. They spend 2 cards to remove 1 of yours, or they spend 3 cards to remove 2 of yours in the case of scamming it. Whilst Fury can remove, if scammed, 3, 4, 5, even 6 creatures. I guess, you know, its upper end is 8-1 toughness creatures, right? Which has probably happened to some players trying to go wide with tokens or similar. Breaking that parity is the issue. Grief doesn't do that. Fury does. The next bit I want to come to is people are saying, well, Fury's gone now, so you're just gonna play your fair creature decks and lose to Yorgmoth. And you know what? That's fine. I don't mind there being decks that are better than mine. I don't mind there being decks that I can't beat. Fuck it. I don't mind there being strategies that are good and reasonably fair. That is fine. The problem I've had with Fury is that it's just a completely unreasonable play pattern for anyone trying to play creatures to play into. It's not that Fury just quite simply and Scam quite simply beat me. That's why I dislike the deck. I thought it existing as a huge part of the metagame made it impossible to play the decks that I want to play. To clarify, I'm really happy being tier 2 or even tier 3. I've been playing Arbiters and Ghost Quarters and Thalias and Flicker Wisps for fucking almost 10 years at this point, and it's never ever been the best deck in Modern. Ever. I'm not looking for the best deck. I'm looking to play the deck that I really enjoy playing if it's at least mildly, potentially playable. But beyond my own personal taste of being able to play 2 or 3 white creatures now and not have them all removed by 1 card, we also have the fact that people can play elves and shit like that. There are so many other decks that Fury absolutely rinses that can now see some form of play. Now, people are also talking about other culprits for the reduction of efficiency of 1 toughness creatures, and that is true. There are other culprits out there. Several people on Twitter have told me that I pretend that Orcish Bowmaster and Wrenn and 6 don't exist. I'm not going to go back and dig through it. You can if you really want to try and prove me wrong on this, but you won't. I've been a big vocal opposer to Wrenn and 6 for a long time. I was banging the drum about having this fucking thing banned in Legacy, where it's far worse because of its ability to recur things like Wasteland. There will be a couple of Wrenn and 6 decks floating around, right? Some kind of Jund pile. The 5 color or 4 color Omnath decks will move back to Wrenn because they're going to lose their other card advantage engine now, with the Beans card getting banned. I'm not saying that you can just play Noble Hierarchs now with absolute impunity, but these 2 cards aren't the same, by the way, and neither of them are really like Fury. I feel like I'm just fucking banging the same old drum and sucking the same old eggs, but you cunts keep saying all this fucking nonsense on social media, so I thought I'd clear it up. Fury can kill 4 X1s. Bowmasters can kill 1 X1 unless you're drawing extra cards. In the middle of this scale of killing an X1 to killing 4 X1s, you have Wrenn, which can kill multiple X1s if it just survives and lasts. So that is literally a scale where Fury is your worst fucking thing. Pyrotechnics, Fury, I guess Pyroclasm's on the far end of that, but Pyroclasm that comes back as a 4/4 double striker is probably worse. The point I'm getting at is that Bowmaster doesn't repeatedly ping all the X1s you ever play. It can block 3 X1s, of course, but it won't block a Wisp in the air. Am I right? But outside of all my talk of fucking X1s, Noble Hierarchs, and Flicker Wisps, do I believe that Bowmaster should have been banned? I'm not too sure. There's this argument that Bowmaster was meant to be one of the cards used to counter the One Ring when they knew the One Ring was going to be good, right? It's a part of an evolving metagame. The fact that they banned Beans took away one of the big card draw spells in the format, so I like the idea of giving it time. I don't like Bowmaster existing, but I don't hate it either. It's kind of inoffensive compared to something like Fury. So Beans is gone, and I think that's a good thing. I think people being able to play multiple free spells and cantrip off them is bad. I think being able to play 1 mana Oblivion Rings and cantrip off them is bad. And they even mentioned in the article about how people were cascading into Beans with their Shardless agents over, say, your traditional draw 3s because it's just better in the long run. That's when you know something's wrong. At the end of the day, I would have loved a bit more of a shake-up. I would have loved Grief to have gone as well. I would have liked to see perhaps an unban or something. I don't know what. I don't know where I fit on that. Like Pod, Twin, and the Artifact lands, all 3 of them have such huge risks associated with unbanning them, but I wouldn't mind seeing something like that happen from the extensive Modern ban list. On the topic of unbannings, people often cite how previous unbannings didn't do a lot. Jace, Bloodbraid Elf, Stoneforge Mystic all came off, Wild and the Cattle, Bitter Blossom, they all came off the ban list and did not break the format. That is not an argument for why you should take everything else or other things off the ban list. If anything, it's an argument that them being careful and meticulous about what comes off the ban list actually ends up being these things where these cards can see play but don't warp the format. It's not an argument for them to take more off. It's an argument to exercise caution when they do choose to take things off. On that note, Smuggler's Copter is unbanned in Pioneer now, which is fascinating because social media was alight over the last week of people saying that the people asking for it to be unbanned simply hadn't played with the fucking card before because it was so good in Standard. The funny thing about Copter is not only does it fit into every creature-based aggro deck possible and being a solid card there, but it's also really good with the current archetype that already draws some ire and frustration from people playing Pioneer. It's pretty damn good in Greasefang as well, as a looting artifact vehicle. I just don't really get why they took it off. It feels like there's more risk here than I would like, but also as someone who doesn't regularly play Pioneer, merely dips his toe in on Arena when new combo decks show up to make videos about them, perhaps I'm more apprehensive or cautious than those that do regularly play it on the Wizards team. Explorer also got Khan and Geological Appraiser taken out, and both formats, both Pioneer and Explorer, also can have access to Quintorius, of course, which is the other Discover deck that I mentioned in the video that came out earlier today. And they mentioned they're keeping an eye on Quintorius decks in Pioneer. I do wonder why, A, there was no joke about birthing or pregnancy in the announcement. I think that's very sad. And B, I wonder if they are just, like, too fearful to get rid of the titular character of the latest set, and they want to give it a bit more time if he's not completely dominating everything. And I know they said they banned Oko when they needed to, but Oko was such a gratuitous mistake that everyone could see. Quintorius might still get to go on being a mistake for a little bit longer. If you want to know more about that deck, I've got a whole video that I did earlier today about that. I think these shakeups are great, and I'm genuinely excited to sit down and play some Modern tonight and tomorrow, and for the rest of the week, playing creature decks to see if they actually can see some play and be any good. Elves, for example. But most importantly, I'm excited to sleeve up D&T, which I was already enjoying in the Scam metagame before. Ironically, maybe it was just good into Scam because the deck was so skewed into playing against Scam. That's always a funny thing when you're playing in a metagame where you're skewed heavily, and as soon as that metagame shifts, you got all this tech that's like, shit, do we need all these anti-red and anti-black, pro-red, pro-black cards in our sideboard now that Fury's gone? I don't think Wizards banned Fury because of me. I don't think Wizards listened to me in the slightest. But I'm glad to see it go. I really am. And I've got a feeling that this won't be the last ban of an Evoke Elemental. I do think that Grief might need to go in the future. Let's wait and see though. Maybe Amulet and Yorg pull to the forefront. Maybe Yorg pulls to the forefront playing Grief for some bizarre reason. I don't think it plays it at the moment. Who knows? But we should probably see how metagames shake out after bans like this before we start clambering for more. 2 bans is a safe and soft way to go. I'd rather do this than over-adjust and ban a load of shit that doesn't need to go. I'm excited. Play some Modern and see where it goes, and I just hope they keep their finger on the pulse and we don't get more changes when the community is evidently not enjoying the formats that have grown out of this. To the Scam players who are upset because Fury was banned, to old pros that are upset with me for pointing out that Fury is bollocks, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've lost another broken deck that was too good. But that's Magic for you, baby. Sometimes the broken cards have to go, and you have to learn to let go. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll have Modern gameplay this week, and I'll probably be shouting, complaining for the ban of Sharda's Agent next week, because that's what Arielax thinks I'm going to be doing. Really weird comment, that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.